Princess Lyraveth stood tall in the dim light of the Vorath flagship arena. Her skin glowed soft blue, like living crystal. Tall and graceful, she looked down at the chains around her wrists. The metal felt cold and heavy against her delicate form. The Vorath warlord laughed loud from his throne high above. His jagged teeth flashed as he pointed at her. "See the mighty Elysian princess, now nothing more than my prize," he said. He turned to his guards and barked an order. "Bring the human." Doors hissed open at the far end of the arena. A man walked out alone. He wore old, battered power armor patched with scrap metal. Scars covered his face and hands. His name was Kale Voss. The Vorath guards pushed him forward. They laughed at his small size compared to their own bulk. "This is your guard ape thing," the warlord said. "Keep her alive until I grow bored of the game." With calm eyes, she had heard of humans, short-lived, noisy creatures who spread fast across stars. Primitives, she thought. Yet this one moved with quiet purpose. He stopped a few steps from her and gave a small nod. She spoke first in the common trade tongue. "You are to protect me, human." Kale answered in a low voice. "That is the job." She tilted her head. Her long silver hair moved like liquid light. "Do not expect thanks from me. I am royalty, you are nothing." Kale did not reply. He simply checked the chains around her wrists. His gloved fingers tested the locks. "Strong," he muttered to himself. The warlord clapped his hands. The arena lights grew brighter. Crowds of Vorath warriors filled the seats. They roared and banged weapons on shields. A gate opened below. A large beast charged out. It had 6 legs and claws like black knives. Dripped from its many mouths. Lyraveth raised her hands. Blue energy sparked between her fingers. She was ready to fight. The beast lunged. She stepped aside fast. Her blade of light appeared in her grip. She slashed once. The creature howled and turned. Kale watched from the side. He had been told to stand still. "Do not interfere or die," the warlord had said. The beast swung a claw. It caught Lyraveth across the arm. Her crystal skin cracked. Bright fluid leaked out. She stumbled. The crowd cheered louder. Kale moved, not fast, not loud. He walked into the path of the beast. The creature turned its heads toward him. He raised one arm. The armor sparked as he fired a small pulse from his wrist. The shot hit the beast in the eye. It roared and charged him instead. Lyraveth stared. The human had broken the rule. Expected the Vorath to shoot him down. But the warlord only laughed harder. Let the ape play hero. Kale dodged the first swipe. He rolled under the second. His hand found a loose metal plate on the floor. He lifted it like a shield. The beast slammed into it. The plate bent but held. Lyraveth recovered. She thrust her light blade deep into the beast's neck. It fell with a heavy crash. Dust rose around the body. Silence fell for a moment. Then the crowd exploded in noise. Kale stood up. His armor smoked in places. He walked back to Lyraveth's side. Blood ran from a cut on his forehead. He wiped it away with one hand. She looked at him. "Why did you step in? You were told not to." Kale shrugged. "Looked like you needed a second." She narrowed her eyes. "Humans are weak. You should have died from that hit." "But I did not." Guards came forward. They grabbed Kale's arms. The warlord stood up. "Interesting, little ape. You have spirit. Keep her breathing for tomorrow's fight. I want more fun." They dragged Kale to a small cell near the arena. He did not resist. Lyraveth watched him go. Her arms still bled slow. The pain was sharp, but she ignored it. Later that night, she sat alone. Chains rattled softly when she moved. She thought about the human. He had no glow, no grace, yet he stood when others would fall. She touched the crack in her skin. It would heal slow without proper care. Humans healed fast, she remembered from reports. They broke and mended over and over. A guard opened the door. He pushed Kale inside. Fresh bandages covered his arm. He carried a small kit. The warlord says, "Fix her up, ape. She must look pretty for next show." Kale knelt beside her. He opened the kit. Simple cloth and gel. Nothing fancy. "Hold still," he said. Lyraveth pulled back. "I do not need your help. You bleed on the floor. It will get worse." She stared at him, then slowly held out her arm. He worked careful, cleaned the cut, applied gel that cooled the pain, wrapped it tight. His hands were rough, scarred from many fights, yet gentle now. "Why do you serve them?" she asked. "The Vorath are monsters." Kale tied the bandage. "I serve Coin, not them. And now you serve me. For now." She looked into his eyes. They were gray like old steel. No fear lived there, only calm. "You are strange human. You are strange princess." She almost smiled, but pride stopped her. He stood up. "Tomorrow will be harder. Rest if you can." The corner. Sat against the wall. Closed his eyes. But she knew he did not sleep deep. Humans like him never did. Lyraveth leaned back. Her glow dimmed low. The arena waited outside. More blood, more fights. Yet for the first time, she did not feel completely alone. The human sat quiet, a small figure, in big armor, carrying secrets she could not yet see. Night passed slow on the Vorath ship. Engines hummed deep. Stars moved outside cold windows. Lyraveth watched Kale. He breathed steady. His chest rose and fell. One hand rested near a hidden knife. She closed her eyes at last. Dreams came of crystal towers and open skies, but in them a small shadow followed close, silent, enduring, waiting for the moment to step forward again. The princess slept. The warrior waited. Tomorrow would bring new pain, but also new truth. CR. Word count 1,200. The next morning came fast on the Vorath ship. Alarms blared through the halls. Guards dragged Lyraveth back to the arena. Her chains clinked with every step. Kale walked behind her. His armor looked more patched than before. The warlord sat higher today. A bigger crowd filled the seats. Vorath from other ships had come to watch. They wanted blood and screams. A new gate opened wide. This time 2 beasts came out. They looked like twisted wolves with metal spikes on their backs. Red eyes glowed hungry. They snarled and circled. Lyraveth raised her hands again. Blue light formed into twin blades. She stood ready. The beasts charged together. She spun fast. One blade cut deep into the first beast's side. It howled and fell back. The second leaped high. Claws aimed for her throat. Kale watched close. He gripped the rail tight. Warlord voice boomed. "No help from the ape this time. Watch or die." The beast landed hard. Lyraveth dodged, but not clean. A claw raked her side. Crystal skin shattered in a line. Pain shot through her body. She dropped to one knee. The crowd roared loud. The wounded beast limped toward her. The other one circled back. Kale stepped forward slow. He picked up a broken chain from the floor. It was short, but heavy. He swung it once to test. A guard raised his gun. "Stay back, human." Kale ignored him. He walked into the light. The beasts turned heads. One lunged at him. He swung the chain. It wrapped around the beast's leg. He pulled hard. The creature tripped and crashed. Dust flew up. Lyraveth saw her chance. She stood up. Pain burned, but she pushed it down. Her blades flashed. She drove one into the fallen beast chest. It stopped moving. The second beast roared. It charged Kale now. He dropped the chain, rolled aside, grabbed a spike that broke off the dead beast. He jammed it into the charging one eye. The beast screamed and thrashed. Lyraveth finished it. Her light blade sliced clean through its neck. The head rolled away. Blood pooled dark on the sand. Silence hit the arena. Then cheers exploded again. Some Vorath clapped for the human. Others hissed angry. The warlord stood up slow, his eyes narrow. Clever ape, you bend rules without breaking them. I like that. He waved a hand. Guards pulled Kale back. They did not hit him this time. Lyraveth stood breathing hard. Her side leaked bright fluid. She looked at Kale. You risk death for sport? Kale wiped sweat from his face. Not for sport. For the job. She almost laughed, but pain stopped her. They took her to a small room off the arena. A medic drone hovered over her. It sealed the cut with cold gel. She sat quiet. Kale stood by the door, arms crossed. Why do you not run? She asked. You could escape in the chaos. Kale looked at the floor. Too many guns, too many eyes, and you would still be here. She studied him. Humans die easy, yet you stand again and again. We get used to it. The warlord voice came over speakers. Tomorrow, bigger fight, special guest, a Vorath champion. No beasts this time, just skill. Lyraveth closed her eyes. She knew the champions. Big, strong, fast, trained to kill without mercy. Night fell again. They locked her in the same cell. Kale sat in the corner. He pulled out a small tool from his armor. A thin wire, with a break. Hook. He worked on something she could not see. What is that? Escape trick? Not ready yet. She watched him work. His fingers moved sure. No shake, no fear. Tell me about humans, she said. Why do your kind fight so much? Kale paused. We come from a hard place. No glow, no long life. We break easy. So we learn to keep going. Pain is just noise. She touched her sealed cut. Elysians feel pain deep. It slows us. You act like it means nothing. It means something. Just not enough to stop. She leaned back. Her glow soft now. You make no sense, human. Good. Keeps them guessing. Morning came too soon. Guards pulled them out again. The arena looked different. Higher walls. Energy fields hummed around the edge. No escape. The champion walked in. He stood twice Kale height. Armor black, spiked. A huge axe in one hand. A plasma whip in the other. The warlord smiled wide. Princess, meet Gorvax. He has never lost. Gorvax pointed his axe at Lyraveth. I will break you slow. She stepped forward. Light blades formed bright. I am ready. The fight started fast. Gorvax swung the axe. She ducked low. Her blade cut his leg armor. Sparks flew. He laughed. Small cuts mean nothing. He cracked the whip. Energy lashed out. It caught her shoulder. Pain exploded white. She fell back. Kale tensed. Guards watched him close. Gorvax advanced. He raised the axe high. Lyraveth rolled aside. She slashed at his knee. He stumbled. She stood up, breathing hard. Gorvax swung again. This time, the whip wrapped her arm. He pulled. She flew forward, hit the ground hard, went wild. Kale moved. He grabbed a guard spear, twisted it free, threw it straight. It hit Gorvax's whip hand. The energy snapped loose. Lyraveth broke free. She drove both blades into Gorvax's chest. He roared, swung one last time. She blocked with crossed blades. The force pushed her back. Gorvax fell to his knees. Blood poured. He looked surprised, then dropped face down. The arena went quiet. Then noise crashed like thunder. The warlord stood, face dark. The apids are fierce again. Guards rushed Kale. He fought back, punched one, kicked another, but more came. They beat him down. Armor cracked. Blood ran from his mouth. Lyraveth shouted, Stop! The warlord raised a hand. They stopped. He looked at her. You care for the ape? She lifted her chin. Honor demands I speak. The warlord laughed cold. Honor, fine, he lives. But tomorrow, final fight. You two against my best, to the death. Winner goes free, loser feeds the ship. He turned away. Guards dragged Kale to her side. He coughed blood, but stood up slow. Liraveth helped him. You fool. Worth it. She looked at him, his eyes still calm. Gray steel, no fear. Tomorrow we fight together. He nodded. Together. They locked them in the cell again. Liraveth sat close to him this time. She touched his broken armor. He did not pull away. You bleed too much. I heal fast. She looked at his scars. Old ones, new ones mixed. Humans carry their wars on skin. He smiled small. Better than inside. She dimmed her glow. Rest now. Tomorrow we end this. Kale closed his eyes. But she knew he listened. Always listening. Always ready. The ship hummed around them. Engines steady. Death waited in the morning. But so did hope. Small, quiet, human. Liraveth watched him breathe. The warrior who should have died long ago. Yet here he sat, still fighting, still guarding. She felt something new. Not pity, not thanks, respect. The princess from Crystal Towers, and the human from Broken Worlds, bound now by blood and choice. Night passed slow. Stars watched cold. The arena called. Word count 1,200. The final day arrived, heavy on the Vorath flagship. Alarms rang sharp through every deck. Guards marched Liraveth and Kale to the main arena. This time the walls stood taller. Thick energy barriers shimmered blue and deadly. No way out, except victory or death. The warlord sat on his throne like a mountain of black scales. His eyes glowed red with cruel joy. Today ends the game, he shouted. Princess and ape fight my elite guard. 10 warriors armed to kill. Last one standing walks free. The rest become food for the engines. Liraveth looked at the 10 Vorath who stepped forward. Each one bigger than Gorvax. Armor thick with spikes. Guns, blades, whips, plasma claws. They spread out in a half circle, silent and sure. Kale stood beside her. His armor showed fresh dents from yesterday's beating. Blood still stained the corner of his mouth. Only his hands and calm gray eyes. Liraveth spoke low. We cannot win this. 10 against 2. Kale answered quiet. We do not need to win. We need to leave. She glanced at him. What plan? He touched a small bulge under his chest plate. Something I built in the dark hours. Wait for my signal. The warlord raised one claw. Begin. The 10 charged as one. Liraveth summoned her light blades, bright blue and sharp. She met the first 2 head-on. Her blades clashed against their armor. Sparks flew hot. Kale moved fast. He dodged a whip crack, grabbed the handle mid-swing, twisted hard. The Vorath stumbled. Kale drove his elbow into the throat gap. The warrior gagged and fell. Another came from the side. Plasma claws glowing. Kale rolled under the swing, picked up the fallen whip. It wrapped the next attacker leg. He yanked. The Vorath crashed down. Liraveth danced between 3. Her blade sliced fast. One lost an arm. Another took a deep cut across chest. But they pressed hard. A gun blast grazed her leg. She stumbled. Kale saw it. He threw the whip like a rope. It caught the gunner arm, pulled tight. The shot went wild. Kale closed the gap, punched the Vorath faceplate. Cracks spread. He hit again. The warrior dropped. The crowd screamed wild. Some cheered the Princess Grace. Others roared for the human trickery. 5 left now. They circled tighter. Liraveth breathed hard. Her glow flickered weak. Pain burned in her leg and side. Kale stood back to back with her. His chest rose steady. Blood dripped from new cuts. Yet he smiled small. Now, he said, reached under his armor, pulled out the thin wire device, pressed a hidden switch. A low hum started. Then sparks jumped across the arena floor. The energy barriers flickered. Alarms wailed, different now. Red lights flashed everywhere. "What is this?" the warlord roared. Kale's voice carried calm. "I spent nights learning your ship. Weak points in power lines, jammed relays, small changes, big boom. Explosions ripped through lower decks. The ship shook hard. Metal groaned. Air hissed from breaches. Guards ran in panic. The 10 warriors turned confused. One shouted orders, but too late. Kale grabbed Liraveth's arm. "This way." They ran toward a side gate. It stood half open from the chaos. A Vorath blocked the path. Kale charged low, tackled him hard. They crashed together. Kale rose first, kicked the warrior head. He stayed down. Liraveth limped behind. Her leg dragged. Kale slowed for her. "Lean on me," she did. Together they pushed through corridors. Smoke filled the air. Lights blinked on and off. Alarms screamed evacuation. Vorath ran past them. Some shot wild. Kale pulled Liraveth into a side hall. A blast hit the wall behind. They reached a small hangar. One escape pod waited. Old and dented. Kale forced the hatch, pushed her inside first. She fell into the seat. He jumped in after, slapped the close button. Engines whined alive. The pod shot out. Stars spun as it cleared the ship. Behind them the flagship listed. Fire bloomed from hull tears. Vorath fighters lodged too late. Inside the pod quiet fell. Only the soft hum of life support. Liraveth sat, breathing deep. Her glow dim, steady. Kale checked controls. Set course for neutral space. Then leaned back. Winced as he touched his ribs. She looked at him. "You planned this all along. Since the first day. Why not tell me? You would argue, or not believe. Better to show." She stared at the small man, covered in blood and dents, yet alive, still calm. "You took hits meant for me, more than once. Job. Not just the job anymore." He met her eyes. "Maybe not." She reached out, touched his hand. Rough, scarred, warm. "Humans confuse me. You should be dead many times. We forget to die." She laughed soft, first time since capture. The sound surprised her. The pod drifted steady. Stars calm outside. No pursuit yet. Kale pulled a small med kit from under the seat. Cleaned his wounds, then hers. Gentle hands again. She watched him work. "Why do you help so much?" "Because someone has to." "Not good enough." He paused, looked up. "Because you are worth it, princess or not." She felt warmth in her chest. Not from glow. Something deeper. "Thank you, Kale." He nodded. "Rest now. We have far to go." She closed her eyes, leaned against the seat. The pod carried them forward, away from chains, toward unknown stars. Kale sat watch, one hand near controls, the other near her, guardian still. The ship behind burned slow, a broken giant. The warlord voice echoed in memory, but it meant nothing now. Freedom tasted sharp, like clean air after smoke. Liraveth slept light. Dreams mixed old towers and new scars. A small shadow walked beside her, steady, enduring. The human warrior kept watch. Ready? Carrying secrets in his blood. Secrets even he did not fully know. The stars waited patient. The galaxy turned slow. And 2 unlikely allies flew on. Word count 1,200. The escape pod drifted quiet through empty space. Stars passed slow outside the small window. No alarms chased them. No Vorath ships on sensors. Just calm, black nothing. Liraveth sat in the pilot seat. Her leg wound throbbed less now. The med gel worked slow but sure. Kale leaned against the wall. His armor hung open in places. He breathed steady, despite the bruises. She watched him for a long time. He cleaned a cut on his arm with a cloth. No complaint, no groan. Just focus. You should rest, she said. You bleed too much. Kale tied the cloth tight. I will when we dock. For now, watch the stars. She turned her head. The glow of her skin lit the small cabin's soft blue. Her eyes found his face. Scars, old and new. Gray eyes calm as always. How do you keep going? Any Elysian would have fallen by now. We learn young. Pain comes. We push through, or we die. Most choose push. She touched her own cracked skin. It had started to mend, but slow. Elysians heal with time and light. Humans heal with will. She pulled the small med scanner from the pod kit. It was basic but enough. Hold still. Kale raised an eyebrow. Why you live? He sat still. She ran the scanner over his chest, then his arms, then his face. The device beeped soft. Data scrolled across the tiny screen. Lyraveth froze. Her fingers tightened on the scanner. The glow of her skin flickered fast. What she whispered. Kale looked at her. What did it find? She stared at the screen. Genetic markers. Old ones. Hidden deep in your code. He leaned forward. Show me. She turned the scanner. Pattern glowed. Red lines marked strange sections. One line stood out bright. An Elysian royal trace. Pure and ancient. This cannot be. Kale frowned. What is it? Your blood carries Elysian lineage. Royal blood. From my house. Centuries old. He laughed low. Impossible. I am human. Born on dirtball Earth. Listen, she said. Long ago an Elysian ship crashed on your world. Before your people flew among stars. The survivor was a scout from the old royal line. He lived among your kind. Mated. Children came. Traits hid. Recessive. Deluded. But never gone. Kale stared at the screen. His face went still. The marker matches my line. Distant cousin. Lost branch. He sat back hard. The pod seat creaked. So I am part alien? Part Elysian, she corrected. Makes you endure. The part that lets you stand when others fall. He rubbed his face. I never knew. No one did. The line faded on your world. Wars, time, mixing. But the blood remembers. She looked at him different now. Not as guard, not as ape, as kin. Shame hit her sudden. All the words she spoke, ape thing, primitive, weak, thrown at him like stones. I called you nothing. Kale met her eyes. Words, just words. No, she said, I was wrong, blind. You saved me, bled for me, and all along you carried my blood. He shook his head. Does not change the job. It changes everything. She reached out, touched his scarred hand. Warm, rough, real. You are family, Kale. Lost family. Returned. He looked at her touch, then at her face. Family, huh? Never had. Much of that? Now you do. The pod beeped. Proximity alert. Neutral station ahead. Small outpost. Safe harbor. Kale stood up slow. We dock soon. Rest your leg. She did not move. Kale. When we reach Concord space, what then? He thought for a moment. I get a new contract. You go home. Simple. No, she said, firm. You come with me. To the court. They must know. He laughed again. Me. In crystal halls. With fancy robes. No thanks. They must see. A lost prince. Returned warrior. Prince, he repeated. Sounds wrong. Scion, then. Blood of the line. He paced the small space. 2 steps one way, 2 back. I fight for coin, not crowns. Then fight for me. He stopped, looked at her. She stood up despite the pain, limped close. I asked not as princess, as Lyraveth. Stay. Kale looked out the window. Stars endless. Then back at her. You sure? Yes. He nodded once. All right, but no robes. She smiled small. No robes. The pod docked soft. Clamps locked. Air hissed equal. The hatch opened. Cool station air rushed in. A medic team waited. Elysian envoys in silver robes. They saw Lyraveth, rushed forward. Princess, you live. She raised a hand. I live because of him. They looked at Kale, the small scarred human, in battered armor, blood dry on his skin. He stood straight, said nothing. The lead envoy scanned him quick, eyes widened. The marker. It is true. Lyraveth stepped forward. This is Kale Voss, of the lost royal line. My kin. He saved me from Vorath chains. Life. The envoys bowed low. Whispers spread fast. Kale shifted uncomfortable. Enough of that. Lyraveth touched his arm. Come. We go home. He followed her. Through bright halls, past glowing crystals, past staring eyes. She walked beside him. Not in front, not behind. Equal. The station lights bathed them soft. Human and Elysian. Warrior and princess. Bound by blood long hidden. He glanced at her. You still a pain in the ass? She laughed clear. And you still bleed too much. They stepped into the shuttle, bound for Concord Core, for towers of light, for truth long buried. Kale sat quiet, looked at his hands, scarred, strong, carrying secrets no longer secret. Lyraveth watched him. The stunned feeling stayed, but now it warmed, not shocked, grateful. Shuttle flew on, toward new stars, toward reckoning, toward family found in the dark, toward family found in the dark. The shuttle glided smooth into the heart of Elysian space. Crystal spires rose like frozen light from the central world. Towers touched the clouds. Bridges of glowing energy linked them. The air smelled clean and sweet, like fresh rain on glass. Lyraveth stood at the viewport. Her skin shone brighter here. Home healed her wounds faster. Kale stood beside her. His battered armor looked out of place, small and dark against the shining city. The shuttle landed soft on a wide platform. Guards in silver armor waited. They bowed low when Lyraveth stepped out. Princess, welcome home. Their eyes flicked to Kale, curious and unsure. She raised her hand. This is Kale Voss, of the lost royal line, blood kin to our house. He saved my life. Show him honor. The guards exchanged looks, then bowed again, deeper this time. Kale shifted, his feet. Not used to bows. They walked through wide halls. Walls pulsed with soft light. Elysians stopped to stare. Whispers followed like wind. The princess returns, with a human, royal blood. They reached the grand throne room. The high council waited. 7 elders, in flowing robes. Their skin glowed pale gold. The queen sat at the center, tall and regal, her eyes sharp like cut gems. Lyraveth stepped forward. Mother, the queen stood. Lyraveth, my child, we thought you lost. Not lost, she said. Saved. She turned, gestured to Kale. This man guarded me, fought for me, bled for me. His blood carries our mark, from the old crash on Earth, a scout of our line, his descendant. The queen looked at Kale long, then raised a scanner wand. It hummed over him. The room went quiet. The wand beeped. Red line glowed bright. The royal trace, undeniable, Gasps filled the hall. Elders leaned forward. The queen face changed. Shock, then wonder. It is true. A branch we thought gone forever returned in human form. Kale stood still, hands at his sides. No bow, no words. The queen spoke soft. Step forward, Kale Voss. He did. Slow steps on the polished floor. You carry our blood, yet you live as human, endure as human, fight as human. He nodded once. That is how I was raised. The queen looked at Liraveth. You vouch for him. With my life. Then he is welcome. As kin, as hero. The elders murmured agreement. One elder spoke. What of the Vorath? They dared chain our princess, and tortured our lost prince. Liraveth chin lifted. They will pay. But first, we heal. Then we answer. The queen smiled small. Rest now, both of you. They gave Kale a room near Liraveth Tower. Simple but clean. Bed wide enough. Window to the stars. He took off his armor piece by piece. Each plate clanged loud. Scars showed fresh and old. He sat on the edge of the bed, looked at his hands. Liraveth knocked soft, entered without weight. She wore a light robe now, glow steady and warm. You look tired. I am. She sat beside him, close but not touching. They will offer you titles, lands, a place here. Kale shook his head. I do not want lands or titles. What do you want? He looked at her. A ship, a contract, to keep guarding you. She smiled. Still the job, still the job. She touched his arm. But now it is more. City lights danced outside. Soft music drifted from far halls. Liraveth spoke low. I was wrong about you. From the first day, I saw small and weak. I saw ape. But you are more. Stronger than any Elysian I know. Kale looked at the floor. You were scared, captured, angry. Words come easy then. No excuse. He met her eyes. Forgiven. She leaned closer. Thank you, Kale, for everything. He nodded. You are welcome. Morning came bright. The council called them again. News from the border. Vorath ships pulled back. Whispers of fear. The flagship loss. The princess escape. The human who broke their pride. An elder asked Kale, will you fight for us? If needed. The queen spoke. Then take this. She held out a small crystal pendant, old and heavy, a mark of the lost scout. Wear it. Remember your blood. Kale took it, slipped the chain over his head. It rested cool against his chest. Liraveth watched, pride in her eyes. Days passed. Kale trained with Elysian guards. They moved like water. He moved like stone, hard and sure. They learned from him. He learned from them. Nights he sat with Liraveth, talked of earth, of dirt roads and hard rains, of fights in dark alleys, of stars seen from small windows. She told him of crystal gardens, of songs that lasted days, of peace that felt too still. They laughed sometimes, quiet laughs, shared looks. One evening on a high balcony, wind cool, stars thick overhead, Liraveth said, I never thought I would find family in chains. Kale looked out. I never thought family would find me. She took his hand. Together, he squeezed back. Together, the galaxy watched. Vorath licked wounds. Elysians whispered of the human prince. Humans far away heard rumors. A man who carried alien blood, but fought like one of them. Kale Voss walked the shining halls, armor patched new, pendant on his chest. No crown, no throne, just a warrior, with a princess at his side. He never stopped watching, never stopped guarding, never stopped being human. Liraveth never forgot the stunned moment, the scanner truth, the man who bled for her, who carried her blood without knowing. She looked at him often, with wonder, with thanks, with something deeper. The stars turned slow, worlds spun, and in the heart of light, two souls bound by secret and choice moved forward, enduring. Together, the alien princess was stunned once. Now she walked proud, beside the human warrior, who carried forgotten strength and quiet heart. The story spread soft across systems, a tale of blood hidden, of endurance greater than tech, of a guard who became kin, and the galaxy learned. Humans do not need glow or long life. They need only will and the moment to step forward. Kale kept walking, Liraveth beside him. The future opened wide, full of stars, full of fights, full of quiet moments. They faced it all, side by side. Word count 1,200.